Hello, I'm glad that you guys are here with us. We're on day 2 or session 2 working with Doctor. This is who I'm working with right now. And then in a little while, we'll be working with Stein. And we're changing things up a little bit. So when we brought home the first set of wilds and the second set of wilds, I got first touch on the first day. But we moved them over here because they actually escaped while we were on vacation. So we brought these guys home. And then put them in the wild pen. And then we went to Jake Clark Mule Days. And they escaped out of the wild pen. And they got into a different pen. So now they're in the round pen. And this area here, we kind of rearranged things. And we're having a harder time with the bigger area getting the first touch. And it rained for like 14 hours straight. So everything is super muddy, as you can see. What I'm trying to do here is get him to face up. But I'm really trying hard not to make him run, because it's so muddy. I don't want him slipping. So we're just going to keep working on getting him to face up. And he does catch on to this really well during the session. And later on, when I start working with Stein, because it's so muddy, I can't get Stein separated from Doctor here. And I ended up by working with both of them at the same time. So here I'm just giving him a release of pressure. I really want to help him understand what I'm asking and remove that pressure each time. So a smaller area is helpful. I think we were using probably about 400 square feet, maybe 300 square feet with the first set. So our wild pen, we had a divider gate in the middle of it. And I think it really helped a lot. So when you're doing this, I'm trying to get him to roll his hinds. I'm moving my hand just a little bit. I don't want to put on too much pressure. And he says he doesn't get it. So I'm just going to do the best that I can. Other people make that look easy, but it's harder for me to get them to roll their hinds without, in this atmosphere. So I'm just going to keep doing the best that I can, help him understand that I want him to face up to me. And he's getting it here. So before we came down, or when we first started today, we were feeding him through the fence. And they hadn't had dinner yet, so feeding him through the fence went pretty well. And again, I'm just trying to help him see. I want him to face me when we're in here. So anytime he's uncomfortable, I want him to know just to face me. That's the right answer, to look to me to guidance if he should be nervous or calm. We're learning and, connecting, learning each other's behaviors. Now, my microphone, I charged it last night and it's still not working. I have a new one ordered, but that's why I'm doing the voiceover here, because my microphone's not working. So this, again, it's session 2, and we have brought home three wild animals, 2 Mustangs, and this donkey that I'm working with here. Their names, the donkey here is Frank, it's Doctor, and then the one that my husband is working with on his channel is Frank, and then the other one I'm working with is Stein. So Dr. Frankenstein are their names. They're very fun, very cute. All 3 of them are 1 year old. And so we're just going to keep helping them to learn to face us up. There he did a little swish of the tail. He looked away, so I'm walking towards him. But he looks at me, I remove that pressure. This is how he's going to learn to look at me. Now, I had a request from one of my subscribers to do my videos for this session or this series unedited. So the reason I'm doing this is this person is having trouble getting the connection and the touch and getting the halter on hers. So I am doing all of these unedited just so you guys can see exactly all of the processes that we're going through to get them gentle. There he took some steps towards me. That was great. So because these guys are all 1 year old, we're making sure that we're only doing 15 minutes at a time. Now, we were probably down there for an hour and a half today, but actually asking them questions to look at us was only for 15 minutes for each animal. Now, again, there he took some more steps. So that those steps that he's taking towards me is him showing curiosity. He's curious about what I am. He's curious about the question I'm asking him to face me. He's starting to understand a little bit more. He's staying there longer. And again, if you guys are doing this, if you're able to separate the animal you're working with into like 300 square feet or so, maybe 400 square feet, that's going to make things easier to work with them. So we're going to keep doing this process here until I can be standing beside him and I'll start touching him. I like to use the long brush to start with the touching. It keeps me out of the kicking range. When you're doing this, whether it's muddy or not muddy, you're never asking for fast movement or anything. You're just asking for them to look at you. Ideally, I would like him to roll his hinds over so that he's facing me, not just turning his head. And again, I'm having trouble getting that. The goal is to walk towards their hind and they'll move it typically. But I'm not as good at it as other people are. So I'm just trying to do the best that I can to get him to turn and face me. And sometimes it'll go better than others, but we'll just keep working it. He'll get it. So if your timing is not quite right, or if you're not asking quite right, it's just going to take a little bit longer to get it. Your energy while you're out here is very important. You want to keep low, calm energy to help them also be low and calm with their energy. Remember, they're just a mirror of us. And I've seen that time and again. They're just pretty amazing at how intuitive they are, how well they read our body language. And even if we don't realize we're putting forth the body language. So if we have a lot of excitement over something good, or if we had a bad day and we're out there, they're going to read all of that super well. They're just pros at reading body language. So here again, I'm releasing pressure because he turned and looked at me. It's going to be very curious to see how big he gets. He's from the same band as the other ones that I've brought home. And the other ones that I brought home were between 12 hands and 13. We have one that's almost 13.2 now. But with him only being one, he's still growing. You're supposed to be able to measure from the middle of their knee bone to the bottom where their fur and their hoof meet together to decide how big they're supposed to be. That's supposed to tell you or be at least a pretty good prediction of how tall they're going to be as an adult. If you guys have ever used that, put that in the comments and let me know if it's been successful or not. There, I'm trying to grab some hay. So here I'm going to see if luring him with hay, again, they haven't had dinner yet. So I was going to see if luring him with hay would be helpful to get him to turn and face me, to add curiosity. And he says he's still nervous. That's okay. You could just try different things and see. Watch their body language. If they're leaning back, leaning away, their head tilts away, all of that is little tiny signs of how they feel. So here I'm trying to get where I'm facing the same way as him. And the reason I want to face the same way as him is that removes the most pressure. Looking at them dead on, looking at them eye to eye, that's absolutely increasing the pressure way too much for these guys. Later on, you'll be able to do that. But right now, that's just increasing way too much pressure. So looking away or not looking directly at them is going to help remove that pressure and let them know that you're not there to hurt them. I'm pretty excited. I submitted a proposal to the BLM to be a holding facility, a temporary holding facility, a training facility, and to have auctions here. So we'll be watching excitedly to find out if we are accepted into that program. So what we're going to be doing with these guys here, these three that we just brought home, is we're going to be training them for approximately a year. None of them will be necessarily old enough to start under saddle. And Doc here, I don't know that he will be tall enough, to be a riding donkey. But we'll get their groundwork going really well. We'll probably get them all used to wearing a saddle. Maybe they'll be pack animals later on. And then after the year has gone by, these guys will become available for a forever home. And then I'll get more so I can start training more. Here, I'm trying to move pressure towards his hind to get him to turn and face me. And he doesn't quite understand what that means. There, he switched his tail, giving me a little warning that he's uncomfortable. And I think here I'm deciding that the hay's not working. I'm going to get rid of it. And I do end up by grabbing a flag to help me with that. Again, it's not to make them move a whole bunch. It's just to try to give them better direction of what I'm asking. It's an extension of my arm. So Dan's there with the other two in the round pen side. So he's going to let them eat out of his hand while he's recording. Now, again, I've watched other people do this part to get them to roll their hinds, and they make it look so easy. This part is definitely hard for me. It's just a muddy mess down there, too. So that doesn't help. There he looks. That's good. We're going to reward that by removing the pressure. And he's thinking, just look at him down there thinking. It's pretty funny later on when I'm working with Stein, he's actually drooling. That was pretty funny. So ideally, guys, we would not have this feeder in the middle, but we're just going to make things work right now. Like I said, we were on vacation at Mule Days, and I did a Thai clinic with Grace, the wild donkey. And then we got home. We worked with them, the first day we were home. And then it rained for 14 hours. So now we have the muddy mess. So ideally, that feeder would be maybe up against the wall, working in a smaller area. I found helpful with the last 7. There, he's really curious about the flag. He's facing me, and he's coming to smell it. Because he's showing curiosity, I'm going to remove that pressure. And we want to keep growing that curiosity. I don't want him to be fearful of me, which he is right now. I just want to help him be curious. And then, I'm not sure if he already did it, but he did start licking and chewing in today's session, which really means he's starting to understand what I'm asking. It's also very funny when I was recording Dan working with Frank for his channel. You want to check that out on the farm on US 87. Doctor and Stein were just playing so much. They were hilarious. They seem to really have bonded up. So again, he's showing curiosity. So I'm going to let him smell the flag some, and then I'm going to remove that pressure. He took some steps forward towards me. That's wonderful. Remove that pressure. We're just trying to grow that curiosity with him so he can be curious instead of fearful. Now he's coming even closer to me. And that's a big win there, guys. This is, again, the second session that we've had with him. So if you've gentled a wild donkey or a wild Mustang, tell me tell me in the comments, what's your favorite area size to be working with. Like, we're able to separate these guys from their bigger area into a smaller area for working with them. And I really do like that smaller area, probably 300 or 400 square feet. We have a lot of extra panels in here just to get rid of any corners. Because at first, Frank was kind of picking on the doctor here that I'm working with. So we want to make sure there's no corners so they're not picking on each other. But they're getting along now. It just took them a couple days, but we were just kind of nervous with going on to vacation right after they came home. So don't be afraid when you're in there to change things up. I tried getting him to roll the hinds to face me, and he's getting it, but he was pretty nervous, right? I tried the hay because they hadn't had dinner yet, and he said, that's not enticing enough. I'm still nervous. And now I got this flag, and look at how much more curiosity we have. I'm very pleased with this curiosity. He'll come back. He's already curious.
I don't think he'll be gone long.
And look, he's licking and chewing right now. I don't remember him licking and chewing yesterday.
I believe this is the first time I've seen him lick and chew. $14
minutes already?
Yep.
I don't know. I think that's kind of scary, but I think I'm kind of curious. Let's see if I can touch his back with this. Look at that curiosity. I just love it. So curious.
You think that's the flag? It's the coolest thing in the world.
I touched his cheek there.
$15.
Alright. Let me see if I can get him to roll his hinds. We're gonna be facing this way. He offers to kick. Rolling hinds is so hard for me.
16.
Okay, I just want to get this one thing. There. We'll call it that.
Hey, look at that. Let him sniff the flag now. He seems like he thinks that's cool.
Here he comes, Mr. Curiosity. Session 2.
Doc's second session. 1-year-old Doc, the leader of this clan. All right, it's Stein's turn now, but we weren't able to get him separated. So Mary Jo's gonna work out here.
What I like there is Doc figured out I wasn't talking to him.
He's just watching the circus. They me.
So he's facing. I need to just wait for him to look somewhere else. It's good.
There, you got a little step forward. A little bit of advance and retreat going on there.
That was a lot less movement this time.
Yeah.
That's good.
Doc's like, I know what to do.
a step forward that time. He's kind of blocked in by Doc.
Yeah, Doc is saving him.
Yeah, right? Save me, donkey, save me.
I want to hide behind you, Doc.
I want both eyes there, mister. There we go. Doc is ending up with a double training series.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm not paying attention to him so much. A smaller pen size is definitely handy doing this, but it's so muddy and they're running so much. We don't want them to be running in
Yeah.
this mud. It's June and we're wearing like winter clothes because it's so cold out today.
38 degrees this morning.
He took a step forward. I'm going to release more pressure.
You got another little step as you turn another one just now. Would we want to gently scatter them up and do it again in a different location?
Only he looks away long enough. Otherwise, I would be.
Yeah, as soon as you move, he puts his eyes back on you, I guess.
I wonder if he would come forward to smell the flag, like Doc did.
Well, one way to find out.
So if I do this, guys, and he moves, that just means I put up too much pressure, and that's okay. We'll just start over. Here comes Doc. He says that flag is curious.
Well, Doc, he's a flag sniffer from way back.
So it wasn't too much pressure for Doc, but it was for Stein.
And Doc is just in love with that flag.
Whoa, that's good. I'm going to relieve lots of pressure.
He's coming towards you.
That's a good boy.
That's textbook right there.
So while he was trotting, I wasn't asking him to trot. He was doing that because he was nervous. Good boy. So remember the differences with a horse and with a donkey. A donkey is going to stop and assess things. So they'll go into freeze mode and assess whether or not they're truly in danger, where a horse is going to flee the scene and then look back later.
Well, Doc says it's safe. It must be safe.
You're so brave, Doc. You're so brave. Stein, you're not. You're a little bit more chicken than a donkey, aren't you? But you came closer to me. That's really good. That's really good. So they're just being curious. We like that. We want to reward that. And rewarding them, their pay for being curious is that I just leave them alone. I'm not going to add any pressure, or I could even take the pressure away. We want them to be curious, not fearful. So there he's. He took a step forward. I could go farther away from him to relieve more pressure to let him know that that's the right answer. He's not looking at me. Good boy.
I didn't quite step towards you.
There's the flea from the horse.
Yeah, you got one eye. Doc's not helping. Hey, come on, man. Let's wrestle.
Harder.
Let's play.
They're really tearing it up playing in here earlier.
Yeah, really spunky. Buddies.
It's nice to have a whole bunch of young ones so they can be playing together.
I'm going to spin around here and shine on Frank real quick.
Okay.
From the circus of trying to get these guys separated, Frank has decided to stand right there and not move. If I stand here and look at you now, I just looked away. There's a deer over there or something. Like, I'll just stand here. All right, we're back. What'd we miss?
Didn't miss anything. I think his bubble is pretty big right now.
Yeah.
Where the doctor's bubble, the donkey, his bubble's much smaller. So I'm just kind of inchworming my way towards him, rocking the baby. By doing this little bit of movement, I'm going in and out of his bubble.
Ooh.
Just took a little bit of a step back.
That was... I caught it from the corner of my eye. I don't know if it was back or forward.
This was like a half inch. It wasn't a lot.
Doc just wants to sniff the flag.
Right? And play. Play with me. He took another step back. That was a bigger step back. But he's still facing me. That's good.
Mm-hmm. Doc's going to push him forward now.
A step forward. I'm going to take a step away and reward that. He's drooling.
That's probably not far from a spot to quit. That's really good. It's a lot of thinking juice. That's not drool, that's thinking juice.
Thinking juice. I don't think I've seen a horse drool. He looks like Beethoven right now.
Trying to zoom in. I can't see this. Oh, there we go. We got slobber dripping down.
Kind of a slobbery boy, aren't you? Another goober mouth.
You worked your baby horse till it started drooling?
Yeah.
No, we didn't. It's been 12 minutes. But you know, it was probably 5 minutes to get them kind of separated.
Yeah, right? And we weren't even successful with that.
Right, but there was some energy expended doing that.
He just took a big breath.
Yeah.
That drool is so funny.
Your horse drools.
He's being pretty darn calm with me standing right here. He just took another
Oops, sorry. There
little
we go.
step back.
There we go. $13.
He just took a step towards me.
Walk away, see what he does. Just stop right there. He's just paralyzed with thinking juice.
His thinking juice is coming out of his mouth.
Yeah.
Well, I'm pleased with how well he's staying facing me.
Right?
Even with how close I got.
Yeah.
See how close I can go here?
These guys are coming along real nicely.
So when I'm coming, I'm not looking at him. I don't want to put that pressure on. And my line of sight going towards him is pressure. Did you see where that foot moved? Was it back or forward?
I was looking at the drool. I didn't look at the feet. Yeah. That's pretty cool.
This is pretty close. Like, I'm pleased with this. This is much closer than yesterday, I think.
Yeah, I think that's a good spot to end it.
You want to come check out my flag? It is a cool flag.
Just let me sniff that flag one more time before we call it a day.
They're so brave. They're a brave donkey.
No, we really didn't work this baby donkey very hard, or baby horse very hard. I think he's just, his brain is tingling.
He still has drool coming out of his mouth.
Yeah, I think that's a good thing.
Maybe he's teething.
Yeah, maybe it's just because
he's so comfortable right there.
he's gonna remember that.
He just grabbed the flag.
Oh my
You
gosh.
want it as a toy, don't you? You are so funny. All right, I could push it, but I think we probably leave.
I think we're in a really, really happy place.
I'd say I'm probably about 5 feet from him.
Yeah.
Maybe 6.
Yeah, it's pretty close. Further than I could jump.
All right, so we're gonna call that a session.
Yep.
Hopefully tomorrow we'll be able to be right up alongside of him.
And if you found this interesting, do us a favor, hit that subscribe button. There's a lot more to come. Y'all have a good night.
Watching.